knows how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with. That's me.
Well,
I am not an African American.
You're Oreo cookie, white in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro, I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I will slap you.
Go ahead, make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Welcome to the second hour of the Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. A couple weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago now, Reverend Franklin Graham appeared on MSNBC, and we're going to play that for you in a minute. He was asked if Barack Obama was a Christian or not. And as a result, the NAACP, along with other black pastors, wrote an open letter to Reverend Franklin Graham asking him to apologize or take back what he said, and he ended up apologizing. I have with me one of those pastors who signed that letter to Pastor Franklin Graham, or Reverend Franklin Graham. I have with me Pastor Caroll Baltimore. He's the president of the Progressive Nat'l Baptist Convention, Incorporated. He is also the senior pastor of the International Community Baptist Church in the USA and the Philippines. He's one of the men who signed that letter, and I asked him to come on so we can talk about that and other things. Pastor Baltimore, welcome to the show, sir.
Yes, good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for being with me.
Sure, glad to.
I want to, you signed an open letter to Reverend Franklin Graham when he indicated that Barack Obama is not a Christian. Let me just replay that for folks so they'll know what we were talking about. Andre, let's have that.
Do you believe that President Obama is a Christian?
Well, I think you have to ask President Obama. You can ask me, do I believe you're a Christian? I think the best thing for a person is to ask you directly. So I think people have to ask Barack Obama. He's come out saying that he's a Christian. So I think the question is, what is a Christian?
So you don't take him at his word when he says, I'm a Christian?
No, of course I do. I was saying, you have to ask every person, but he has said he's a Christian, so I just have to assume, that he is.
So therefore, by your definition, he's not a Christian.
Again, you have to ask him. I cannot answer that question for anybody. All I know is that I'm a sinner and that God has forgiven me of my sins because I put my faith and trust in Jesus Christ. That's all I know.
Do you believe that Rick Santorum is Christian?
Oh, I think so.
So how do you know? If the standard is only the person knows what's within him, when you apply it to the president, why is it different for Rick Santorum?
Well, because his values are so clear on moral issues, no question about it. And I just appreciate the moral stand that he takes on these things.
That was Reverend Franklin Graham in an interview on MSNBC. And Pastor Baltimore, along with the NAACP and others, wrote an open letter to Franklin Graham asking him to apologize. What was wrong with what Franklin Graham said, in your opinion, Pastor?
Well, number one, he gave a distorted answer, in my opinion, when it came to the president over against his answer for Rick Santorum. He's very clear when it comes to Rick Santorum, but when asked about President Obama, he hedged on his answer and would not give a direct answer. The other issue is it does not matter whether the president is a Christian or not.
Why not?
The Constitution, Article 6 of the Constitution does not allow for a religious test for the position of president or any political office. And I think it's wrong to keep raising that question when the U.S. Constitution prohibits that kind of religious test.
But Obama keeps pretending that he is a Christian, so that's why the issue is being dealt with. He pretends to be one.
I don't think it's that he's pretending as much as people keep raising the question that he is a Christian on one hand, and then they say he's a Muslim on the other hand, and it doesn't matter what he is.
Do you believe he's a Christian?
To his faith.
Do you believe Obama is a Christian?
Well, it's not my call, one way or the other, and I'm going to stick to that based upon the Constitution.
Well, that tells me no, you don't believe he is a Christian.
No, those are your words.
Your name was the first. Your name was the first on that list, and one of the things that the letter said, in your letter you said you're concerned that Reverend Graham's comment can be used to encourage racism, and I don't see how his comments can be used to encourage racism.
This is not the first time that Reverend Graham has done this repeatedly. This is an ongoing process.
But how is that racist, though? He's talking about faith and not color. How is that racism?
Well, he's done this before, okay?
When you say done this, he has indicated he doesn't believe that Barack Obama is a Christian, but I don't see the race issue in that.
Well, I can send you other documents, okay? I'll do that.
Let me take a quick break.
And you mentioned...
Hold on a minute. Let me take a break. 888-775-3773. 888-77-JESSE. We'll take your calls, folks, when we come back from this break. I'll be good to you. Okay, folks, welcome back. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. Taking your calls at 888-775-3773. 888-77-JESSE. My guest is Pastor Caroll A. Baltimore. Pastor Baltimore, again, I appreciate you being here. Tell me what was racist about what Franklin Graham said, because he didn't mention Obama's color. He talked about his faith. And how did you come up with racism from that?
You mentioned a couple things. You mentioned my name is first on the letter. I don't think that had anything to do with pride or persons or anything like that. The overriding factor for me, when this letter was drafted, I was in the Middle East. And I was part of the conference call. I did take time out of my schedule.
But where's the racism? I'm trying to get to this letter indicating that Reverend Franklin Graham was fomenting racism. Where is the racism when he didn't mention the man's color at all?
Well, you don't always have to mention the color. You can, and you know that yourself.
I know what.
If you listen to the rhetoric and the way the rhetoric come forth, you don't always have to mention a person's color to show the racial overtones. I
don't get that. The man was talking about the faith. Do you believe that Reverend Franklin Graham is a racist? Is he a racist?
I see you do not want to have a two-way conversation.
No, I'm asking you, do you believe that Franklin Graham is a racist?
You're jumping from one thing back to the other, and that's not the way the conversation goes flow with me.
Answer that for me. Do you believe Franklin Graham is a racist?
You have what we put in the letter, okay?
Now, I'm asking you, you're here with us today. Do you personally believe that Reverend Franklin Graham is a racist?
Yes, I do. It's in the letter, okay?
We'll come back and take some calls. 888-775-3773. Amazing. Okay, folks, welcome back. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. Talking to Pastor Caroll A. Baltimore. He is one of his people who signed, along with other black pastors and the NAACP, they signed a letter, open letter to Reverend Franklin Graham, asking him to apologize for indicating that Barack Obama is not a Christian. And Pastor Baltimore's name was the first on the list. And he had just admitted that he believed that Reverend Franklin Graham is a racist. And I'm just shocked by that. But, Pastor, let's take some calls. Let's go down to Georgia and talk to Paul. Paul, welcome to the show, sir. You're on with Pastor Baltimore.
Yes, I want to ask you, and sir, do not mean any disrespect, so don't take it like that. I'm just asking you a straightforward question. Are you working for Barack Obama, or are you working for God? Because didn't the Bible say you'll know the tree by the fruit it bears?
I work for God, but I do not but I am not here to judge another person's faith. I work for God, but the Bible also says, judge not unless you be judged.
But you're judging Pastor Franklin Graham.
No, you just also said, and Graham himself said, that he was not here to, he apologized for the statements he made, and that he was not judging. He was not going to judge.
I know, but you call him a racist.
Hold it. He said he was not going to judge the president's faith, and you asked me a question if the president was a Christian, and I told you that is a personal matter between the president and his God.
I know, but you judge Reverend Franklin Graham by saying that he's a racist. You have no proof at all that he's a racist, but you call the man a racist.
I didn't say that. I told you
You did say that he is a racist.
No, you reading stuff into stuff, Mr. Peterson.
Pastor Baltimore, you did say yes that you believe that Franklin Graham is a racist. Answer that for me. Do you believe Franklin Graham is a racist?
You have what we put in the letter, okay?
Now, I'm asking you, you're here with us today. Do you personally believe that Reverend Franklin Graham is a racist?
Yes, I do.
So, did you hear yourself say...
I told you have the content of the letter.
I know, but did you just hear yourself saying, yes, you do believe Franklin Graham is a racist?
I didn't say that. There's no anger in my voice. I have no anger.
I didn't say that.
Let me answer this. I have no anger in my voice against Mr. Graham at all. Absolutely at all. None.
Let me ask this, Pastor. The NAACP is one of the most racist, godless organizations in America today. As a pastor, how were you able to sign on with them? How were you able to do that?
I don't know how you can even say that.
No,
I don't know what you base your information on.
The fact that
for you to make that kind of statement, then where in the world do you get that information?
The fact that they use an illusion of racism in order to manipulate the hearts and minds of America to gain power for themselves. They have no proof of racism at all.
I disagree with you.
Let me take a final break. We'll come back and let you finish that. Do you believe Franklin Graham is a racist?
You have what we put in the letter, okay?
Now, I'm asking you, you're here with us today. Do you personally believe that Reverend Franklin Graham is a racist?
Yes, I do. It's in the letter, okay?
We'll come back and take some calls. Amazing. That's my guest, Pastor Caroll Baltimore, president of the Progressive Nat'l Baptist Convention. And he admitted he believed Franklin Graham is a racist and have no proof of it, but he believes it.
This has been the Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show, produced by Bond Action. To access the full version of this show, visit us on the web at bondaction.org.